Hi. I know most of you already because most of you took Math 2203, Numbers and Number Systems, in the fall, and now we're moving on to geometry. So I'm going to start where we've got a couple weeks here where we're not in person, but that doesn't mean we can't get some of the work done on your own. And we're going to start with some vocabulary. If you are learning about or want to participate in a new activity, a big part of that is knowing the language. It's knowing the vocabulary, whether it's sports or music or math, biology, English, car mechanics, whatever. Knowing the terms that knowing the terms in that activity, in those discussions is important. So we're going to start with vocabulary here. And math really is its own language. It's got its own vocabulary, its own terms, its own way of spelling different words. And if you don't know the words, it's hard to communicate. So a big part of Chapter 11, geometry in general, math in general, but Chapter 11 specifically is vocabulary. It's building up the language that we're going to use to develop more ideas later on. And when I'm introducing new concepts to students, or I'm introducing new ideas, one thing that I try to harp on and try and get into them is I'm not making you do vocabulary and write these things down as a tedious assignment. The point isn't necessarily for you to memorize all of this. At one point, 40 years ago, memorizing was an important thing. You had to be able to memorize these terms because you didn't have easy access to look it up. We have access to look it up. And will, in the foreseeable future, be able to look things up right away. But you need to know that a term exists. You need to know that there is this thing out there called betweenness in math, collinear, and that this is a term. And if you forgot what it means, parallel, perpendicular, which one is it? You can look it up, but you need to know that those words exist to begin with. So what I'm going to ask you to do, your first task in this chapter 11, is going to be going through and defining some of these terms. I'm going to share this both as a Google document, the way it is right here, and as a Word document. I'm not going to share it as a PDF because I don't think most of you are going to handwrite the definitions, and I don't think I've left enough space for you to do that either. So you're going to type the definition of the term. All these terms can be found in Chapter 11. It does say define if possible. So as you're looking through Chapter 11 in the text, you'll find information about that. So I want you to define the term based off of Chapter 11 in the text. And I'd like you to draw a picture that represents this term. So the other end of communicating is not only knowing the vocabulary and the language, but also having a pictorial image in your head of what I'm talking about. If I say the term square, you can probably picture a square. If I start talking about angles in a square or connecting points within a square, you either have to have a mental image of what I'm talking about, or most of us, including myself, would take out a piece of paper and draw that. So squares, pentagons, hexagons, we all have these mental images that conjures up, whether it's a stop sign or something else. So I'd like you to draw a picture. I know that you can't do that on a Google Doc or maybe if you really tried hard. But what you can do is after you've defined the terms on this page, if you just want to have another piece of paper and draw a picture on there, that's fine. Just label the picture, point, line, plane, etc. There are two terms on this page that I do not need you to draw a picture for because that would be you'd have to take a lot of liberties with your artistic nature with that. Axiom and theorem. You do not have to try and draw a picture for an axiom or a picture for a theorem. And that'll make more sense when you define those terms. If you can come up with a good way to draw those pictures, I would love to see it. In all honesty, I really want to see it. I can't figure out how you could draw a picture for those. So don't worry about drawing a picture for those two terms, but I do need you to define as many of these terms as you can based on the Chapter 11 material. I'm going to make a couple more videos. We're going to do as much as we can before February 4th. So I am going to collect this on February 4th. So this isn't just a task that I want you to do on your own for funsies. I do need you to turn it in. So bring it with you on February 4th. And I'll send out more information about that day. But that's our first day in person. And this is your first task for this class. Let me know if you have questions, concerns, issues, or it's not working for you.